we can assume that it's live. It says it's setting up your meeting for Facebook. So you're going to start us off, right, Lisa?
It looks like we're live right
awesome.
now.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm just going to start it off with welcoming everyone to Business Spotlight, where you leverage what you learn with Lee and Lisa. And we're very excited to have our guest Amanda today on episode 17. Hello. Isn't that cool?
That is great. Congratulations on 17 episodes.
We're super excited about it. So I'm Coach Lee with Action Coach Business Coaching, and I reside in Kansas, United States of America, which for those of you on the West Coast, it's right in the middle of the country, and it's really flat, and we don't have any oceans or mountains. So we do appreciate those when we see them. And we are super excited to have Amanda here. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it to Lisa, my co-host, and let you have it, girl.
Thank you, Lee. And I am equally, if not more, excited to be having on Amanda Benson-Tilch with us today with Ask Amanda Consulting. I'm Lisa Raggio with One True North Leadership and Business Coaching Solutions in Valencia, California, and we're about 30 miles north of downtown LA, and our landmark in our community is Magic Mountain. But I'll talk at the end in regards to contact information and a little bit about One True North Coach, but I really want to concentrate on Amanda and our guest today, because she is somebody in our community I came to understand very quickly about how she's helped many business owners and how she is herself a business influencer, because she offers truly rock solid information, guidance, and advice for how we can all be improving our businesses. So I would love to just get started with Amanda, read about her bio, and ask her some questions to help us all. Does that sound good, Lee?
Love it. Love it. I'm posting some things on live right now. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing, but I am listening.
Wonderful. So let me tell you a little bit about Amanda. Amanda Benson-Tilch started her career as a business owner in Valencia. She owned and operated a flower shop for a few years before going into real estate. So she has walked her walk and knows what it means to be a small business owner. Her hard work, dedication to making a difference, and knowledge of the area quickly helped her gain many loyal clients and began establishing her presence in the Santa Clarita Valley. 6 years and 2 children later, she joined the Hyatt Valencia family as catering manager, eventually being promoted to business travel manager and social media ambassador. Amanda's sales, marketing, and social media experience landed her the Hyatt Public Relations Award of the Year in 2015. The impression she made at Hyatt and the long-standing relationship she developed in the community over time led her to the associate publisher's position at Elite magazine. This is where the Ask Amanda idea seed was planted. Many of her advertising clients asked for her advice in marketing, social media directions, or ways to help improve customer service. From there, Ask Amanda Consulting was born. So with that, we welcome Amanda. And I think we'd start off with anything you'd like to share about your business, your why, your focus, and leave it to you to educate us.
All of it. Thank you, ladies, for inviting me on the show. First of all, I think this whole platform that you guys are doing is fantastic. I feel very honored to be a part of it. And I hope to generate some more attention to both of you ladies and the action coaching as well. I am on Instagram Live as well over here. So I just showed everybody the screen. So I know, I'm hoping that they can hear us. And I have a few people watching. So hello to them. It's funny, Lisa, that you just mentioned in my bio about the Hyatt, because I just posted like 5 minutes before we went on or so on my Facebook page, my Hyatt business card I came across the other day. And I posted the story of how I started working at the Hyatt, and I was part of a round of layoffs. And then I got asked to come back to Hyatt in a totally different role that I knew nothing about, but I said yes, because I had just been recently divorced, and I, was a single parent at the time with a tiny part-time job, and had no idea what I was going to do with, this new life that the kids and I were in. So I said yes to the job of business travel sales manager, which I had no idea what that meant. So just to give you a little background of who I am, I say yes to opportunity, especially if it's going to mean growth and, provide some stability for the kids and I, or just for my family, at the time, but I am one of those girls that just say yes to new adventures and to risk. I think that's what most entrepreneurs are deep down, is that we are risk averse. Is that a word? I don't know. I've heard it before. Okay.
Totally.
I didn't know.
Is now, Amanda.
I don't know. So that's kind of like what started, and what started my Ask Amanda consulting business literally came from one of the girls that I met, a dear friend, still one of my best friends today. Her name is Diana. She, her and I started working at the Hyatt together way back in 2007, 2008, somewhere around there. And she was new to town. She was from Glendora and came to live in Santa Clarita and knew nothing about Santa Clarita. So she would text me like, hey, where do you get your nails done? And like, where's the best happy hour? And like all this stuff. And then she started literally hashtagging Ask Amanda every time she would ask me something. So that's sort of,
That's great.
I mean, that is where my business name came from. It's just, Diana made it up. Funny enough, Diana and I are just been working on, during this COVID time, everybody has this, newfound light or spark or fire, if you will. And she's always been a caterer, and we've just been building out her new catering business during this COVID time. So I've been helping her building that out and coaching her. So that's kind of a fun little sidebar of like some of the things that I've been doing during COVID. But my why really, my why that you mentioned is just everything I do is for my family. So my mission statement for my personal mantra is just to make a difference. I grew up that way with my parents, but I just learned early on to like make a difference. First of all, I'm chatty Cathy. You can't shut me up. I used to get in trouble all the time for talking in class, blah, blah, blah. Clearly I should have been in sales. They're making me write standards to shut up, and they should have just taught me how to say very early. But yeah, I mean, that's just my mission, and my why is just for my family, and my purpose is to just make a difference however I can.
I think that sometimes people get hung up on their mission or their vision or their why because it's not some grandiose thing. And I believe that if you have a mission to be the best mom or human being, what better mission could you have in life? So I am perfectly okay if someone has that. I love that.
Yeah.
Just want to make a difference.
And just keep it simple. I think your why for what you do something can change, or for why you do something can change and what you do. But I think overall, who you are deep down, that's just, that will carry through all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, and what's important too, Amanda, is that you're clear on it. So you have a lot of clarity.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people struggle with getting clear for whatever reason. But once you are clear on those things, if it's your vision, mission, purpose, your values, then you, as you know, in your bio, and I know in my observation of you in our community with being an ambassador in so many different ways, when you're really clear about those things, it's a natural way to be an ambassador, because it comes easy to you to talk about who you are, what you do, and how you serve.
Yes.
You said something that I just want to pick up on, because I think that there's a lot of value to you sharing your journey. You had talked about how this has been a time of, there's been those little sparks of light and innovation, and how, in my mind, I think of people pivoting. And it may not have always been that way. I mean, that's something when you look in hindsight and you look back and you think, okay, now I can see those things that were evolved into, that grew out of something. Mm-hmm. But can you talk about, I look at it as the mindset. So can you talk about how you're able to look at it that way, as this time for a lot of people, which has been a very troubling time, an unprecedented time. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at it like the lights, the glimmers of light, the things that are coming out of it. What helped you to develop that kind of mindset?
I know that you're specifically talking about this difficult time being like, COVID and the lockdown that some of us still find ourselves in. But that comes from me from way back when. I mean, I've had some struggles in my life, for sure, some hard times. And I just knew if I could get over that one thing, I can get over anything. And that one thing, on my 22nd birthday, my little brother passed away, and he was 15. It was really rough. And every single day it just got a little bit, I don't know, still hard, but less hard. And I knew that like any other challenge or difficult time that came up in my life, I survived that. I can get through anything else. And that literally is what I tell myself in my head all the time. So there's no doubt that I'm like, man, today just sucks. And like this last week just sucked, and I'll just let it suck, but it's not going to suck tomorrow, and it's not going to suck the next, like however you look at things, I just don't allow it to take hold. And I think that that's the mindset that I've always had since, way back when I was 22. It just kind of put me through things, I guess. And oddly enough, at 22, I signed my very first, my only lease, I guess, on my very first business. I used to own a flower shop, and I bought a flower shop at the age of 22. So I just have this constant drive, and I just think I can do things. So during this time of COVID, or this whole, shutdown, there's been a lot of times I've been drinking a lot of wine and just letting it suck. And then I will just get out of it and find something like a new passion and something else to focus on. And luckily I have a good source of clients and or friends that reached out to me to ask for things. And so I focus on that. So what do we do, Lisa? We focus on the things that we can control. Why worry about everything else,
Yes. Yes. And thank you for sharing that. I did not know that. And that's profound. And I really appreciate you sharing that here. And I can see how, I agree with you. I'm sure Lee has her own personal stories too, that when you dig deep and you think about it, they do become a part of the overall life muscle that we build up so that we can sustain ourselves in particularly hard times and be thinking about what it is that is going to be on the other end once we get through it. So yeah. I appreciate that very much.
Sure.
Amanda, who is your target market in your business?
So that's a great question. I went through the work, process. Building out, my new show, the Ask Amanda show, that's going to be coming out at the beginning of the year. I went through a podcast course with Jackie McDougall, and it was pretty awesome. And it really dialed down. Like I had to write out, who is my listener? What do they look like? Make it a person, right? So I named her Carol. She's about like anywhere from like 35 to like 50. And she runs a business, but it's not the only thing. She's got like kids and a life. And she won't admit that she drinks a ton of Starbucks. It should actually be a line item on her budget, like she's just running and she needs help and can't do everything, but has this passion for her business. That's like, I wrote out, that's what my ideal client is, because I can help Carol. I can help that lady. But it's really the small business owner who is trying to juggle everything. And when I mean everything is, usually we're not the jack of all trades. We are the jack of our trade, right? Of what we know how to do, which is if it's, designing landscape, or if it's, creating an artwork, or selling your product. You are that. If you're a florist or if you're a photographer, you are that artist. So you might not be good at the business stuff and you might fall short on certain things. So I'm a big fan of creating and building your team and systems that will help you be successful in your business. So that's where I come in. That's like my ideal client. Like my tagline is, if I can't solve your problem, then I'll connect you to somebody who can. Because I don't develop websites, but I can look at your website and tell you all the things that are wrong with it and how I think it could better serve you. And then I'll connect you to a person who could, help you do that. Things like that. So that's really my ideal client. The new tagline for the Ask Amanda show is solving everyday problems for the small business owner.
I love that. And I am so excited for you with the launch of the Ask Amanda show.
Thank you.
So please tell us a little bit about it. You told us that it's going to launch in January. What a great time to the beginning of 2021. So please tell us about that and the work that you're doing to prepare to launch it.
Yeah, so this is actually one of the things I pitch to my clients all the time. Work harder. Obviously, everybody knows this. Work harder, or work smarter, not harder, right? So, although I tend to do both, it's a really weird combination. But creating one piece of content that you can share in multiple ways. So I've developed, kind of this okayness with being on video. I do understand that I am not a blogger. I cannot write. I write like I talk. There's like swear words, there's misspellings and all the things in it. So I'm not a good writer. So I'm better on video. So I'm going to be recording the show with a guest, and each guest will have, be providing my audience some massive value. Like I've got a guest on podcasts. I've got a guest on digital marketing. I've got a guest on, just how to, like in the media, like how to grow your business. I've got it, just like a great lineup of some great guests, and providing tips and tricks on how to do better business practices, if you will. But what we're doing is we're taking the show, recording it live. It'll be on YouTube. It's going to be stripped down to audio for a podcast, and then it's going to be stripped down to written for an actual blog as well. So one piece of content in 3 different ways, right? Like, so then I'll have that to share throughout the month. So that's my of all of it. And I started this way back when everybody's like, you should do a podcast. You should do a podcast. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't even, like, what other thing, but I took Jackie's podcast course, and it lit the fire. And the Schlicks, who Schlick Art, they are a local media company here, Lee, in Santa Clarita, and they wanted to build out this new business practice of being able to offer their clients as well podcast video services. So I'm sort of their test dummy, and I help them build out this whole program, this whole new service. And then I'm the first one that's going to be recording it. So, I'm just, yeah, I'll do it. I'm the yes girl. Okay, I'll do it. I want to do it. I get it. I'll do it.
I love that. And then the videos that you create are evergreen. Isn't that the right term?
Yes.
They last forever. And we've got some coaches in the Action Coach community who have done a beautiful job of creating a lot of content on different topics. And so when they run across someone or meet a prospect, they can send them to their website and say, hey, I did a video on time management. Have a look at it. And
yes.
It's there. I know Lisa is building her the video resource library as well, including what we do here. And so, yeah, it lives on forever.
Yeah.
That's scary, cool.
Absolutely. And I have to say, Amanda, I think from the moment I met you too, first of all, Amanda has a large generosity of spirit. She really is one who, and if you read her bio, if you see what it is that she's done, she's very big into volunteering as well and making a difference in that way. And I am so glad that you are doing the podcast, because now that I know you a little bit better, what I've seen, I think that this is the medium for you. I think that it's going to be a place where you will thrive. And I look at thrive, my definition of thriving, I said this the other day, because this came to me about a month ago when I was asked, to dig deep. And thriving, I think, is in a perpetual state of maximizing our potential. And I think that's a medium in which you could really be maximizing your potential. And what you're talking about in, what some of us call net, in what can you do that's one activity, but you're actually to get a huge return on energy for that one action that you took. And there's a significant ripple effect.
Right.
So it's being able to look at those things, where you can net and have a very good ROE. And an ROR, what's the return on the relationship as well? How is it making that relationship more meaningful and adding value overall? So I'm so excited for a lot of us to learn from you in that way.
I'm gonna just pray that I get all the listeners and viewers to be able to make the impact that I'm hoping. So
I have no doubts you will. I have no doubt that you will.
How do they have
Amanda, I wanted to.
Sorry. You go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I'm just going to ask, what are some ways for people who have been thinking about podcasting? How will you measure your ROI? Is it number of views, or is it number of subscribers, or what's the best way to measure that?
I think that's a great question. I get asked a lot about ROI. Well, what's the return on investment on Facebook ads, or what's the return on investment of, like, me doing this marketing piece? And it's like, I think that there's so much, I do believe that ROI has shifted a lot in people's mindset now, because they need to chill out. And I think they've learned that, because what do we know about sales? It's not about the transaction. It's about the transformation of the relationship. And sales are all about the know, like, and trust, right? So you need to get people to know you, tell your story, to like you, be honest and authentic, and to trust you. Have them build up this relationship of doing business together, and referrals and things like that. So, delivering on what you say, delivering on your promise. providing the service that you're actually trying to sell them. So I think that the ROI on things like podcasts or even, YouTube, your YouTube channel or videos, or any Facebook ads or mailers, anything you're trying to do, the ROI on it is, what are you trying to get? If you're trying to get your phone ring to ring, then make sure the message is clear and the phone number is clear. If you're trying to get new followers, then make sure there's an engagement aspect of it so that people are actually engaging in you and wanting to share it, right? To get new followers. If you're trying to sell your service, then be clear on what your service is. One of the things that I got asked all the time, ironically, when I started my business was, what do you actually do? Like, oh, we're so excited for you. Ask Amanda, congratulations. What do you do? So I got tired of answering that question. I thought it was comical. And yet I was super busy. I had lots of clients because they just wanted to know whatever it was and attach onto it. So I started a vlog, which was just I hired a guy who followed me around with my clients, and he records my sessions with my clients, and that became my YouTube channel. And when I started doing that, people just then started to understand, oh, this is what she does, one-on-one problem solving with business owners, blah, blah, blah. So that was one way I went around it. My ROI on my YouTube channel wasn't to get a bunch of subscribers. I think I only have like 200 and something subscribers on my YouTube channel, but it was to tell the story of what it is that I did. And I accomplished that. So I think ROI just is, what are you trying to get out of it?
I love that you said, what's the outcome you're looking for? Customers, then talk to that. Don't just come up and say something, or if it's followers, ask for followers again and again and again. And yep. Call, if you want someone to call you, give them the number, or something,
Yeah.
Simple but true, and often overlooked.
Yes, a lot overlooked. People have a tendency to overthink everything. I'm always like, hold on, let's just, I'm always asking people, wait, stop. Like, what is it that you actually want? Let's be clear on that. Because they'll talk all around all the things that they want. No. Like, I force them to dial it in, and then I'll give them a strategy around just that versus big picture. Big picture, man, we're all drowning in big picture.
Here.
Yeah, and Amanda, I know that we've got a few more minutes left, and sure. I wanted to take advantage of your subject matter expertise and ask you about social media growth tips. And just a quick thought before we do that, I just want to leave the listeners with its food for thought. Lee and Amanda, when you're talking about ROI, something that was a shift for me is to look through the spectrum and add to my vocabulary return on energy and return on relationship. Mm-hmm. Especially in my background in the nonprofit sector, those are things that are very meaningful because the drive isn't so much in regards to profit, but it's in regards to impact. And so those are things that really shifted our thinking in regards to, let's look at our return on energy and our return on our relationships as well. And it just kind of adds to when we're thinking through something in addition to ROI.
Love it.
So social media growth tips. I know that if there's anything that you would have, maybe a few bullet points or stuff that you could share. I know that we may have listeners who would say, oh my gosh, I have an opportunity to hear from Amanda.
Yeah.
So I leave that to you if there's some things that you'd share.
Yeah, of course. I do this one talk for teams about like 7 tips on how to grow your Instagram. So it's a little engaged. I won't go through all of them, but a couple of things that I think are cool that people don't maybe utilize or know. Everybody always asks me, when's the best time to post? When's the best time to post? And the ironic thing is it's different for every single person because of who your followers are. And so I have I spent 30 days utilizing this one app. For me, it's called When to Post app. It's a free app, but you can pay for the, upgrades as always. Mm-hmm. And I liked it because it's attached to your Instagram account, which means it's looking at the algorithms of your followers. And it will tell you when is the best time for you to post based on how much engagement you've had on your previous post. So that's one tip I like to give, When to Post app. Check that one out. And then another one is, it's all about engagement. I mentioned this a few seconds ago, but it's all about engagement. So like, I did this thing that Gary Vaynerchuk, who's a guy that I follow, he's like a huge marketing person. He taught this one time on, if you want to get new engagement, new followers on Instagram, go to the search page, type in your hashtags of like around your business model or around your audience that you're trying to get a hold of. And so for me, I would type in hashtag small business owners, right? And I would search through that. I would go to the 9th photo, I guess, if you will, like count down the 9th one, open it up, read that post, see what it is, and start engaging with them on that post. And so like every couple of nights or so when we're sitting, on the couch at night watching TV that I don't really care about, that's when I'll do this and I'll engage. And here's another tip. Ready? 4 words or more. So 4 words or more. Be thoughtful about your posts, about your comments. Don't just heart everybody in that feed, right? You have to actually heart it, comment it. Oh my God, I feel the exact same way. Or like say something that would tell them that you actually read their post, if that makes sense. Or thank you for sharing your story. There was one time when I totally felt the same way and I fell flat on my face, or like whatever, just be real and just watch slowly, your followers will grow. Like your followers on Instagram will grow just by doing those few things. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys.
That was great. I loved all of them, all 3. The last one though, I feel like they've done an injustice. Like I did on one of your Carol Kennick, Corin Raisha.
Yeah,
He posted something and I just put a face funny with a heart in the eyes. I should have said, yes, I agree with you, because she's like, I love your ideal client. She took the time to say that, and all I did was heart her back.
Yeah.
So that resonates.
Start the conversation. So like I used to say this all the time, social media. What's the key word? Social. Be social. Stop hiding behind the phone and actually say words, and say proper words. Like I get the cuteness of emojis and all that stuff, but like, I don't know. Just can we talk like English sometimes, please?
Yeah. LOL.
Great tips. Thank you, Amanda. Well, I know we're coming up to our end time, and Lee and I are always very focused on making sure that we honor the time of our guests and our listeners too by ending on time. How can people find out more about you and your business and get in touch with you?
Thank you for asking. I actually am in the middle of revamping my website. So if you go there, that's great, but just watch for some changes. I'll do a little like launch sometime soon that, hey, it's all done, but we're doing it in stages. So it's just askamandaconsulting.com, but all of my information is on there. So it's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. Follow me obviously on Instagram, which I'm doing live over here, and I have some people watching. I'm so thankful for them. So yeah, just Instagram, Facebook, it's all Ask Amanda Consulting. So very easy to find me.
Well, I went to your website and I thought it was great.
Thank you. It's being shifted around. My business has transitioned over the last 3.5 years. And so I'm trying to be more focused on what it is now. And so I'm just revamping some pages.
Well, I just want you to know we've had 5 the whole time live on today, which, we're not Gary Vaynerchuk or Brad Sugars, but that is still really good, because we always get around 1,000 people who view it later.
Yeah.
So, that's good. And I happen to know my mom's not watching today, so these are really 5.
I think that's great. I don't care if your mom watches. I would say thank you to her.
I love it. My mom watches. She's my biggest fan. So yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, Amanda, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you were on. It was more than I had expected in this conversation, because I'm a big believer in digging deep and getting to the root and heart of stuff. And so that came up really quickly with us, and I appreciate it. And we walked away with solid tips. I've got my notes that I took in regards to what you said. Trust me, I eat that stuff up because it does not come easy to me. So I really appreciate it, and so glad that you could be with us today, and look forward to seeing you in the community too, with all the good work you're doing. And a huge congratulations for the Ask Amanda show launching in January.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And Lee, is there anything you'd like to share before we close out?
I would. I have a vision to have 99 people on my mastermind feed forward. That is a free service. It's a 30-minute Zoom that we do every Thursday at 8 a.m. Central, which is early for you all in California. But I'm super excited about the traction that we're starting to get, and it's business owners, influencers, and executives coming together, breaking out into groups in Zoom and just giving each other advice on whatever they want. And we're really getting some traction. We're getting some ROR, return on relationship, ROE, return on energy, and I think even ROI, because people are getting answers and using it and applying it. So I just want to invite people. It's called Mastermind Feed Forward with Coach Lee Gray, and we do it on Zoom. You can find us on Eventbrite and on my Facebook. It's still being, we're still working out the details on how to best get registered for it, but I'm excited about it, super excited. So you can find me also at kansasbizcoach.com and Lee Gray on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah. So I had a great time, Amanda. Super nice getting to know you, and I'm excited for your next phase in your life, and I'll be one of your listeners on your podcast.
Thank you, ladies, so much.
Excellent. And just before we go, I just want to say onetruenorthcoach.com. I want to tell you to go to our events page. We have an imposter syndrome workshop that's coming up this Friday. And that means for any of us who question if they feel like a fraud, they doubt themselves, they have success, but they doubt if they should have it. Lots of good questions answered with an action plan on how to manage imposter syndrome. That's this Friday. You can see it on onetruenorthcoach.com, the events page. You could sign up there, and please visit our COVID-19 resource page with a lot of good information for business owners and leaders to help navigate through these times. Thank you so much, and we look forward to next week.
It looks like we got another person. So Brian Schlick, hello, and thank you for joining us.
Oh, nice, Brian.
Following Amanda. All right, let's everybody wave, and we will see you in a week with Lindsay Centellin. Dr. Centellin is an RTT therapist in Wichita, Kansas, and that is rapid transformational therapy. Well, she helps you get through something really quick, and she'll be our guest next week, and I'm excited about that. So wave again one more time. Goodbye. We'll see you in a week. Over and out with Leverage and Learn with me and Lisa Business Spotlight.